Speech 1311, Mr. Patterson, Persuasive Speech, War on Drugs by Brian Matthew Cook. Everyone knows and hears about the war on drugs. Everyone also knows and hears that we are losing. Today we will convince you a few of the mind-boggling facts around the war on drugs, the cost expense of so, as well as a few things that would benefit the United States of America and what you can do to help. Because remember, all wars bear an inconceivable expense. The United States alone spends more than $51 billion on the war on drugs annually. Over 1.55 million people were arrested in 2012 in the United States on nonviolent drug charges, and over 750,000 people were arrested for a marijuana law violation alone. With these crazy figures amounting to over 2,266,800 individuals, or 1 in every 99 adults, is the highest incarceration rate in the world. In Mexico's drug war since 2006 alone, there has been over 70,000 deaths. Only a fraction of the people incarcerated for drug offense in the state prisons are black, Hispanic. Although these groups use and sell drugs at similar rates as whites, this actually covers 2/3 of the incarcerated population. We actually have over 20 plus states, including the District of Columbia, which allows the medical use of marijuana. In California alone, it is estimated that through the regulation and tax sale of marijuana would raise over $1.4 billion in funds. Again, that is for California alone. The tax revenue that drug legalization would yield annually, if currently illegal drugs were taxed at rates comparable to those of alcohol and tobacco, is $46.7 billion. Another super important factor put out there by the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention found that syringe access programs lower HIV incidence among people who inject drugs by 80%. 1/3 of all AIDS cases in the United States have been caused by syringe sharing. That's over 354,000 people. The United States federal government support for syringe access programs is $0, thanks to a federal ban reinstated by Congress in 2011 that prohibits any federal assistance from them. Again, over 250,000 people in the United States alone have AIDS from syringe sharing, yet the government cuts and denies all funding for preventative measures. Petitions are always and currently available, where the public has the opportunity to speak out against these policies in place regarding the war on drugs. With the huge deficit of our country and our growing financial debt, would it not be considerate to amend certain policies, opening up the vast reserves of capital? Do not be afraid to speak your voice publicly. The only way to win the war on drugs is to stop fighting it. Has prohibition not taught us anything? The legalization of these drugs creates a supply and demand factor in the street marketplace, giving an open road for drug dealing and crime. Speak out your voice against the war on drugs. If enough of us are heard, we can perhaps change the policies in place, grant incarcerated or future incarcerated individuals their freedom, save tens of billions of dollars a year on jail fees alone, as well as raise hundreds of billions off the tax, sale, and regulation of them. And finally, speak out for the open the doors for the syringe access programs with funding available from the government. Remember, all wars bear an inconceivable expense.